Hey, how's it going? It's working. Wanted something a little different. Saturdays I've been trying to start up a little conversation, right? Talking about some of the headlines in the week. What is that? This is called Rusty's Retirement. It is an idler game, and it's something that I've been getting into lately because I've been liking a lot of idler games because it's something I just have up on my computer while I'm working from home, and it's just in the background. It's just running. And this one is called Rusty's Retirement, where the main character Rusty is building a farm. So you're building the farm. And you can get these little drones to help you do some work. So you get some people to help you as well. But the sounds you're hearing is because Rusty's Retirement has just put out a collab with Balatro. So the developer added some mechanics, some graphics, and now every time you even the characters have changed. The title characters have changed into jokers. And so now every time you collect vegetables, it does some Balatro stuff. And you can see the vegetables here are being collected as a Balatro hand. So, yeah. They did another collab earlier with Vampire Survivor. It's the Balatro score counting sound. Exactly. Whenever you get 5 vegetables, so you have a joker here, 4 times multiplier, joker here, a joker here, and a joker here. So yeah, see? There you go. You can see, let me show you real quick. There is another. There is another one. Like I said, he did another one where it's Vampire Survivor. Balatro dopamine sound, yeah. So you can see here he recreated things where with Vampire Survivor, and where you also need garlic to defend against. There's actually enemies that come in and steal your crops. So this was his first collab, was with Vampire Survivors. There, you can see the bats coming in on the left. You can see the bats are all over here. They're coming in, and then the garlic should start damaging them. Here's coming from the right. Yeah. So again, just as an idler game that I've been just been having on for while I work from home, just in the background. I think these are cool. There's a couple of them that I really like. I like this one. There's another one I'll probably use next week called Fish to Dish Sushi Idol. But right now it's all about the Balatro. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, most of the time you're letting them do the work. Every once in a while you just look at the screen, oh, I need to replant. So you just replant whatever you want here, So that's basically it. Yeah. And you can see, numbers. Oh, I'm blocking the numbers. Oh, no, I'm not. The block numbers here. Spare parts is your gold. This biofuel and spare parts are your 2 resources that you collect. So yeah, like I said, it's a pretty decent idler. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. The one I mentioned before earlier is another one of my favorites. But with a Balatro collab, it's actually like the sound. Yeah, like you're saying, the sound effects. It's just insane what they did, and it's really cool. All right. Anyway, on to the news. All right, let's go. Let's get started with the news. First one I want to talk about is this here. Let's see. Sony admits that its live service push is not going well. and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, so the article talked about Conquered and its terrible launch. Yeah, this along, and this is why last week's news where WB is doing another DC live service game after its rocky, well, not even, yeah, I guess you could call it rocky after its rocky launch with Suicide Squad. Conquered and is terrible everything. Yeah. So yeah, and so like I said, I hope every live service game is crap. I'm at the point now where I just want my games, you know, and I want to be able to play them whenever I want. And I don't want to have to always have an internet connection at all time. Can't imagine anyone cares for a DC game, much less live service. Hey, the Batman games, the original one, Arkham Asylum, still one of my favorite games of all time. That's still one of my favorite games of all time. It's, I would say the Batman. I haven't played the two sequels because they were open world, and I really wasn't feeling open world. But I probably should try to get back to it now. But it's been done now. Yeah, it's been done for a while, and I remember there were rumors that instead they were trying to get a Superman game going, and then I think there was even talk of like a Wonder Woman or Aquaman at some point, but instead they wanted to do Suicide Squad, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, what a terrible downfall for that studio, because they were. Because I heard that the other two Batman games were really good. I mean, so yeah, it's just the Wonder Woman one was gonna have shiny Nemesis system. Yeah, see, I mean, it's just like, why? There's yeah, there's, like I said, I hope the live service games crashes. You would consider the Batman games pretty lucky. The premise sounds awful. What do you mean the premise sounds awful? You get to play a superhero. You get to play Batman. You had like detective vision. You had like, you know, the fighting in it was really good. The fighting to me was like the prequel, was like the predecessors to stuff like Sifu. Bro's a rich man in a suit, but he's the pinnacle of human evolution. But yeah, the fighting in the original Batman Arkham Asylum, the combat was so good. It was so, at the time, it was like groundbreaking. The execution was great, but you would never assume the game would be any good. Oh, the game was just amazing. Arkham became a game template. Yes, everybody started copying it. Everybody started copying Arkham. It was that good. And come on, it had two legendary VAs, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill. That's it. That's all you needed. The combat in Arkham was the best, to be fair. Yes. The combat in Arkham, everybody uses it. I mean, like the current Spider-Man games, you know, are based off of the combat in Arkham. You know, you could see the bones of it is based on it. It was the voice cast. Exactly, Battle. Exactly. Shadow of Mordor 2. I've never played Shadow of Mordor, but I've seen, I saw Nick playing it, and yes, the combat looks similar. Yeah, I mean, even like, what was it? Absolver / Sifu kind of takes its cues of combat. You can see like the design of the combat is similar, is taken from Arkham. Also had a Nemesis system. I'm so butthurt about it being patented. Oh yeah. You know, I do own those Mordor games, those Lord of the Rings games. I just wasn't sure how good of a games they are, but I keep reading that they're pretty good. So maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get to it. All right. Sifu is sick too. I've seen clips of Sifu and Absolver, and they look pretty well in pretty. As far as like combat games, they're pretty sick. It looks pretty sick. All right. Second bit of news here, or second headline, which makes me really pissed off. Nintendo being Nintendo again. Dude, I don't know how anybody can. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know how they can defend Nintendo at this point. They forced a charity speedrun event to pull Nintendo games out of it because they're, quote, unauthorized. You know, it's like, come on, really? A charity event for Doctors Without Borders? This would make you mad if it wasn't Nintendo, but it's just expected. But no, I don't know if anybody has ever done this. I've never heard of this. Just a charity speedrun event. It's like, why? For Doctors Without Borders, why would you do this? Nintendo would sue a funeral if they wanted to put Mario on a grave. Yeah, it's... they've done this before. Wow, this is the first I've heard of them doing anything like this. But this is, to me, this is, you know, I've had my problems with Nintendo, but I've always, you know, their legacy, you know, you know, the fact that I will admit that, you know, Nintendo did save the video game industry at a point, you know, after the whole Atari debacle. So they regularly break up tournaments that are not their own and to put up prizes. Yeah. Fighting game tournaments. Yes. And that I knew about, but this is a charity event. This is a charity event, man. Come on. Any kind of tournaments, to be honest. I did hear about the fighting game tournaments. That was the last thing that I recall. But yeah, no. But this is ridiculous, and it's just, again, just Nintendo being Nintendo. But wow, it just my hatred for them is just ever growing. All right. Next bit of headlines are kind of, to me, they're kind of associated. Seems like Intel is in really dire straits. Their stock has plummeted. They have admitted that they are no longer in the race for chip making and for innovation in the chip making in the chip making industry. So, and now that it looks like the U.S. government, God damn it, don't even get me started on that, is trying to force, I think is it Taiwan, to purchase a significant chunk of Intel. And I'm so glad I haven't attempted to purchase a new PC yet, because now I'm definitely not going Intel. Somebody shut down their research division. Well, it's because you know what it is, Battle. A long way back, when Intel was the dominant chip manufacturer, they invested heavily into their R&D. Now, because of the new laws and stuff, they focus more on stock buyback, and their research department, their R&D, suffered for it. So along with that, it's greed. It is pure greed, pure corporate greed. But here's good news out of that. AMD has now been classified as the world's fastest processors in nearly all form factors. So if you're going to be looking, like I am, I'm looking to probably get a new PC soon-ish. It's probably time. If you haven't yet, it's probably time to go AMD. I mean, I cannot think of a reason to even look at Intel at this point. Soon-ish. It depends. You know, I mean, am I even going to have a job at some point? Yeah, who knows? Wasn't AMD the better choice since like 2020? No, I don't think it was clearly the better choice. I think they both had their strengths and weaknesses. I think the recent past, yes, it seems like it is definitely now AMD is the better choice. There were still some things back in 2020 where AMD was still better, or Intel was still better, and AMD was like just behind them. I would say in 2020, AMD was just behind them. But performance-wise, I think Intel still had the slight edge in 2020. All right. But yeah, so that's that one. 2 more headlines. Time to go to some good news. I don't know if... hopefully you guys have heard of these guys. Digital Foundry. They are now independent, which is amazing. You know what I should do? I should be putting this in here like this. Give me 1 second. Maybe I should do this. Yeah. I should do this to where the browser has the thing. Didn't these fellas do what? No, but I like a lot of Digital Foundry's content because they do a lot of comparisons. They dig deep into like the how a game runs on different specs, how it runs on one console or platform versus another. They do a lot of that stuff, and I really like their content. And now they're independent. They are independent now, so they are no longer owned by IGN, which is great. You know, I'm all for being independent, which means, you know, they don't have to worry about any corp right now. They don't have to worry about corps, you know, interfering with whatever they want to say, how, you know, what they want to review or whatever. But yeah, no longer owned by IGN is always a good thing. Yes, it is. It's amazing. But yeah, no, they did a I remember Digital Foundry did a test, or they did the analysis on like the new Oblivion remaster on like all of the what do you call on just every single console there is. So that was great. You know, that's great. You thought it was a studio? No. They're content creators. Yeah, they are content creators. So, but if you ever wanted to see like any kind of discussion on like, you know, the latest video cards, the latest, even, I was using it for the latest, CPU comparisons, they're the ones to go, like, or if you wanted to see how games run on PC versus console or something like that, I always went to them. But yeah, so again, that's the good news. And one more bit of news for you guys here. There has been a name change for a game. I played this game when it was called Jump Ship during Demo Fest. It is now, because of legal reasons, called Jump Space. But it's supposed to be coming soon to early access. And if you've been here before, I hate early access, but this is a game that I am willing to give a shot for early access. Did they get slapped by a copyright? Yes, they did. They did. They admitted they did. There was a big news article about it that, yes, they had to change it. They were forced to. But the game is not changing, and it's still coming out. But and I can't wait for it. I had a great time with this during the demo fest. I think this was like the best demo that I played. And then the name was not great, so this still sounds good. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. No, it makes no difference to me, but just wanted to make sure that, because again, this was my favorite game of the demo fest. No difference, and now there's a funny story about the bad name. Yes, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, this was my favorite game of the demo fest. I'm glad it's still around. It's, hopefully it is Q3, so hopefully within a month or two, maybe. Let's see, it's August, September, October. Yeah, within probably about 2 months or so, hopefully. So, and I definitely want to play this, and it is co-op to up to 4 players. So, if there's anybody that wants to join, I will definitely be open to playing this on stream with you guys. The only worry you had during the demo was that was all of it. Oh, you know what? That's true, but it looks like they've been working on it, so we'll see who's flying the Falcon. We'll see. But yeah, no, to me, this game was just, it looked amazing. And we definitely did not get to this, to look like something like this, where there was like a whole bunch of people on there. Someone who won't crash it into other players. Hey, stop it. I don't crash ships. Well, okay, I do, but not on purpose. It's never on purpose. Come on, man. Come on. All right. That's pretty much it. Thanks, guys, for participating in that. All right. And again, this is Rusty's retirement. They just released a collab with Balatro. That's why you're hearing those sounds. So, yeah, it's a great little idler game.